Hello, very good welcome in my online class, Excellence Learner. And today we are here with a poem, The Duck and Kangaroo. You know, The Duck and Kangaroo is a poem written by Edward Lear, and this poem is the part of syllabus CBSE board of class 9 students. Correct? So, The Duck and Kangaroo poem is a nonsense verse. Nonsense. People, nonsense verse? No. Okay. I will tell you about that. So, nonsense verse is a form of a literature usually implying a strong prosodic meaning like rhymes and rhythms. It is whimsical and humorous in tone. Okay? So, this nonsense verse is written by Edward Lear. He is Mr. Edward Lear, and Mr. Edward Lear himself was an well-known poet, artist, author, right? And he has written this poem very simple way, The Duck and Kangaroo. Today we will try to explain you. I will try to explain you line by line so that you can understand the poem without any difficulties. Okay, so let's start. Said the duck to the kangaroo, good gracious, how you hope over the field and water too, as if you never would stop. My life is bored in this nasty pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hope like you, said the duck to the kangaroo. So, this is the very first stanza of the poem. You see, the poem starts with a inverted comma that is also known as quotation. It means in the poem there is a conversation, and the conversation is done between the duck and the kangaroo, right? So duck said to kangaroo, good gracious. It is just a word to praise and to greet anyone. He says, good gracious, how you hope. We know kangaroo is a animal. This is the national animal of Australia, and it has very typical type of body structure. His two legs are bigger while two legs are little bit smaller. So when it moves, actually it hops, right? And student, you must have remember in your school time during you were a kid, you used to play hopping race in your school, right? So similar way, the kangaroo hops. So the duck said to the kangaroo, how you hope over the field and the water too. He asks, he inquires how beautifully you hopes over the field and water alike, and as if you never would stop. And your hoping style indicates that you do not want to stop anymore. On the contrary, he says, his life means the life of this duck is very bored in this nasty pond. So I long to go out in the world beyond. He says that he wants to go out beyond this pond, right? I wish I could hope like you. He expressed his wish, saying that, oh my God, if I could hope like you, said the duck to the kangaroo. The meaning, the words are very simple, and in the very beginning, I had told you, student, that it is a nonsense verse. And this nonsense verse has been used here in the form of limerick. You know, limerick is a style, is a cult of the nonsense verse. Limerick are probably known the best from nonsense verse, okay. So it is a limerick, and here we see the limerick has been used very smartly, okay. So simply in the very first lesson, a duck who lives in a nasty pond requests to the kangaroo who hops alike over the field and the water, and he praised the kangaroos for his hoping and wishes if he could get a chance to go beyond the pond because he has too much become bored living on the same space for a long time. Clear? Okay. Let us proceed to the next stanza. And here, please give me a ride on your back, said the duck to the kangaroo. I would sit quite still and say nothing but quack the whole of the long day through. And we would go to the D and the jelly bolly over the land, over the sea. Please take me a ride, oh too, said the duck to the kangaroo. It is really a Rams type poem, right? It has rhythmic tone. So in the very first stanza, the duck praised to the kangaroo, and in the second stanza, he puts his request very gently. He says that please give me a ride on your back. I am not, the duck says that it is not very much shaped on the land like the kangaroo. So he requests a ride on his back, right? He again says, I would sit quite still. He says that if you give me a chance to ride on your back, I will not do any type of nonsense. I will sit there quite still, say nothing but quack. You know, quack, it is the sound of a duck. So it says that I will do nothing but only quack the whole of day long through. He wants to ride on its back throughout the day, and we would go to D and Jelly Broly. They are the places. So he wishes that he will go D, Lee, and some other place over the land and over the sea. Please take me a ride or two, said the duck to the kangaroo. So in very simple way and in very nutshell, he requests to the kangaroo to give a chance to ride on his back, and if he gets a chance, he will ride on his back throughout the day to the different places, right? The places that has been mentioned here. Okay, quite easier. Okay, let us proceed to the next one. Here, let's see what happens. Uh, Said the kangaroo to the duck, this requires some little reflection. Perhaps on the whole it might bring me luck, and there seem but no objection. This is if you let me speak so bold. Your feet are unpleasant, wet and cold, and would probably give me two maize, said the kangaroo. Said the kangaroo to the duck. Now, in the very earlier two stanza, only duck is requesting to kangaroo. Now, kangaroo speaks back. He says, this requires some little reflection. means it requires some little reflection. Here reflection means some types of preparation. Perhaps on the whole it might bring me luck, and there some be no objection. There seem so sorry, and there seem but one objection. He says that he has no any problem to uh, to give a ride on his back whole day, but there is an objection. There is a problem. The problem is that if you will let me speak so bold. So the problem is that first of all, let me speak some bold, some clearly. If you will let me speak so bold means if you allow me to speak clearly. The objection and problem is that your feet are unpleasantly wet and cold. People we know. Duck is very much shaped in water. Most of time it spent in water. That's why here Mr. Lear said, your feet are unpleasant. Means your feet are not good because we know duck has webbed feet. It helps the duck to swim in the water, but it looks very unpleasant. So he says your feet are unpleasantly wet and cold. Your feet are unpleasantly wet and cold means you are an aquatic type of bird. That's why your body and your feet is wet and it give me cold and would probably give me two maize, said the kangaroo. And kangaroo say that time if I give you a chance to ride on my back, I will get cold due to your unpleasantly wet and cold feet. Okay, so in the third stanza, in fact, the kangaroo answers back telling about the objection and problem that he might face if he give a chance to ride its own back to the duck, right? And the problem is that unpleasantly wet and cold feet of the duck. Okay, now let's see in the next stanza. Said the duck, as I sat on rock, I thought through over that completely, and I bought 4 pairs of worsted socks, which fit my web feet neatly and keep out the cold. I have brought a cloth, and every day a cigar I will smoke, all to follow my own dear true love of kangaroo. In answering this objection that was raised by the kangaroo, the duck says, he says, as I sat on the rock, I have thought over that completely. He says, yes, before giving the proposal to you, I have thought this problem sitting on a rock, sitting on the land. I thought that my wet feet and my unpleasant feet may give you trouble. But at the end of my thinking and thought, I got an answer. I got the solution. And solution is that I have brought 4 pairs of worsted short. And he says that he has brought uh, good quality of socks of good quality of woolen socks in fact, and that is very fit with his web feet, right? So there is no any problem regarding cold, and to keep his body cold he also brought a clock. Clock is a type of clock is a in fact cloth that keeps our body warm. So he says that there is no problem because he also has brought a cloak and more. He has managed a cigar and he will smoke a cigar to keep his body hot, right? So there will be no any problem with cold and such thing. So all to follow my own dear true love of Kangaroo. He says Kangaroo to Kangaroo that he has done each and everything well to protect his body from the cold, and with the help of this worsted soak, he will not give any type of trouble to his love, to the kangaroo, in fact, which he loved too much. Right? Let's see what happens in the next stanza. It is the last stanza, in fact. Said the kangaroo, I am ready. All in the moonlight pale, but to balance me well, dear duck, sit steady. And quite at the end of my tale, so away they went into hope and a bound. And they hoped the whole world three times around, and who so happy, oh ho, oh who, as duck and the kangaroo. So said the kangaroo, I am ready. After receiving the rebuttal uh, from the duck, right? First, we see Kangaroo has raised an objection. He has some confusion, a problem, and in response to the objection, the duck gave a good rebuttal. The duck gave a good rebuttal saying that he has managed everything well. So at the end, Kangaroo say, then I have no problem. I am ready. Okay. In the moonlight bell. In the moonlight bell means uh, during the night time, all in the moonlight bell. But to balance me well, dear duck, sit steady. So I will start my journey in the night when the entire world is sleeping. I have no problem to hope here and there, right? But you have to sit well, balance well, okay? To sit quietly, steady. And quite as the end of my tale, where he suggests the duck to sit at the end of his tail so that he can hope and bond, right? If he said with good balance at the end of the tail, then that time kangaroo say he will not face any type of problem to hope and bound. And they hope the whole world three times around, and they hope the three world three times around. Here hyperbola is used, it is a figure of speech, and they hoped the whole world three times round, and who so happy, oh who has duck and kangaroo. And the poet asked the question to the reader, like we. He says, who is so happy, kangaroo or duck? I would like to say both enjoyed this journey, so both were so happy, right? They are the sum total of this poem, and I believe you have now understand the meaning of the poem well, and there will be no problem to answer the question related this poetry. Okay, so at the end, I again request you people who has not subscribed my channel, go ahead, subscribe it, right? Share, and never forget to put your valuable comments at the end of the video in the given comment box. Okay, definitely I will come back with some new videos of your syllabus. Till now, bye bye.